I am going to talk this morning, in the time that I have, about how credit unions, preaching to the choir, how credit unions can be and must be the solution for American families' financial challenges and opportunities. And they are great. You know them, you see them every day in the members you're serving. You're attempting to lend money, to help encourage members to save and prepare for retirement, meeting their financial challenges. And there are tough times in every urban area, in every community across Michigan, and indeed across the nation. Credit unions are the answer, can be the answer to helping people get ahead. So, we're going to continue with the mantra of people helping people the credit union way. And I want to try to connect some dots this morning to help us be the answer for all the various challenges that your members and consumers are facing, whether it's a medical catastrophe or the high interest loans, check cashing, payday lenders, unemployment, underemployment, financial scams, you name it, student loan debt. There is a huge amount of financial stress on American and Michigan families today, and we can be the answer. But when I talk about MCUL and CUNA and our role, you know that we're focused on 4 pillars: removing barriers, like we did in getting that legislation passed with your help and having the governor sign that on stage; promoting the credit union difference, our CU Link campaign and other means individually and collectively to promote how great credit unions are; providing solutions; and a new 4th pillar that I'll announce today that is a total comprehensive compliance solution. But why do we do those things? Why do we and CUNA and our sister leagues focus on those 4 areas? Well, it's so that credit unions can spend more time serving the members and communities with less regulatory burden, a higher level of consumer awareness, and more solutions to help credit unions of all sizes be effective at fulfilling that mission. And at the end of the day, it is just that. It's so that consumers and families can survive and prosper against incredibly strong financial headwinds. So I'm going to take a portion of my presentation this morning to reinforce just what those headwinds are. I'll talk very briefly about the role of MCUL and CUNA, but I have 8 new solutions announcements to make that we're very excited about, and I'm glad that so many of our team members are here because they're all helping to develop those solutions and introduce them to our credit union community. One quick example here that I want to give you of how people are struggling, how your members are struggling. High-cost auto loans.
I chose the military because I was having a lot of issues at home. My family was in disarray. I was in disarray. It was just terrible. I was discharged under honorable conditions, which is still honorable, but I had some medical issues coming back from deployment where I was struggling with major anxiety. Horrible, horrible things that I witnessed, I had been through. I ended up roaming the streets and for 15, almost 16 months living in abandoned buildings. I had came to a point where I wanted to kill myself. I just recently got a car, my first car ever. I never really had a car, which was kind of exciting. And the interest on that loan was 37%. The insurance and the car payment is more than half of what I get every month.
Do we have any veterans in the audience? Could we please have you stand and be recognized for your service? So that's just one example. And certainly it can be a returning veteran like the gentleman in the short video clip, but it can be any number of consumers, people, families struggling to just get an affordable vehicle so that they can get to and from work, take their families to school and meet their family obligations or whatever those needs might be. We're the answer for that, and we need to continue to stretch to find ways to help people get affordable credit. Let me give you another quick example of a financial challenge. Financial scams.
I was called on my telephone. They said I had won $6 million in a brand new Mercedes-Benz. And as long as I've been alive, I never had anything like that happen. They would send a credit card and so-and-so's name, and I'd cash money out of it. They had me send about $2,000 through the mail in a telephone book. You just put the money in between pages and then you send it to them. Well, I began to wonder what kind of scam I was into, but I was into it quite far by then.
I told him, you don't have to pay to get money that you win. But he was so elated.
I just thought that I could make a good life for me, my kids, my wife now, and I wasn't thinking properly.
So you see these stories every day. Something like 2/3 of the population is considered financially illiterate. And it doesn't really, financial literacy doesn't discriminate against people who are higher income or lower income. It doesn't matter what walk of life they come from. We have a challenge as the credit union movement and industry to find ways to help educate our members so that they can understand smart finance and avoid any number of financial challenges like that one that we just watched. Let's see another example. Student loan debt and credit card debt.
I'm working 3 jobs currently, with a 4th one that will be starting soon. Now I'm in the office, in my mom's room, on a futon, like all my clothes just downstairs, nowhere to really put any of my stuff. I got my bachelor's in sociology, minor was family and child studies. I am applying for jobs sometimes every night. I mean, you really can't even stand out. It's almost impossible to even stand out. You're just a name on a list. It feels like I'm just constantly drowning and I will never catch up. Well, I budget myself to have $20, but some bill just went through like auto pay, and now I'm negative $60-something because the overdraft fees are $50. It's like, how do you not have money? You work 4 jobs, you work every day. Like, I don't even know how to answer that. I think that where I see myself seems impossible, but I don't care what I have to do, like, I will do it.
Those kinds of stories tug at our hearts, and they remind us as a credit union movement that we're part of the solution. And helping people understand debt, helping them understand smart finance, again, is what credit unions are all about. Let me give you one more example. This one being any catastrophic event. In this case, it happens to be an unexpected medical catastrophe.
Eosinophilic disease is actually a white blood cell. Unfortunately, patients like Chase and Keegan both have eosinophils that attack food. They view the food as an invader and that it's harmful, and so every time they eat in the GI tract, it attacks the food. 1 can of formula is $105 a can. For both boys, we're talking about $3,700 a month. There's not 1 month still that we haven't had extraordinary amount of medical bills. We thought, how are we ever going to get through this? We had a car repossessed because we had to pay for formula. We lost our apartment because we had to go to Cincinnati. I was scared. I was scared that this was gonna be the end of everything.
So when we think about what our members and what consumers are up against, these just being 4 examples, again, it reminds us of how credit unions are part of the solution and how much more we can be doing to help people with what credit unions have to offer. I hope you enjoyed the presentation yesterday given by Alex Sheen, because I said I would. Did you enjoy that presentation? What I really loved about that presentation, it was the second time that I'd heard him give that presentation, and get to hear him a third time at CUNA's America's Credit Union Conference in Seattle. By the way, put a plug in for that great conference coming up in Seattle here later in June. But what I loved about his presentation was how it aligns with the credit union idea, right? Credit unions are like an example of viral marketing in a consumer-friendly financial services industry. Most of our advertising is word of mouth. Word spreads about all the good things that credit unions do, helping people. And the heart and compassion of the credit union industry aligns so well with what Alex was talking about. And I think that that presentation helped set a great foundation for the rest of our convention as we talk about what we can do, what we can learn about, what we can challenge ourselves on as we go back to our shops as boards of directors, CEOs, management, and staff, and support organizations to see how we can be a part of the solution. Nearly half of all Americans are considered financially fragile. There have been many studies done on this, but that's the long and short of it. About half of all households, all Americans are financially fragile. Some examples. You've heard, I'm sure, of the study by the Fed recently where 47% of those surveyed could not cover a $400 expense without borrowing or selling something. What a tragedy. Another study by Bankrate, only about a third could cover an unexpected $1,000 emergency room visit or a $500 car repair without dipping into savings. Approximately 3/4 of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. You've heard these numbers before, but they're real and they vary market to market. In some areas it's higher than that. But on average, 3/4 of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. 55%, according to a Pew Trust study, 55% don't have enough savings to cover 1 month's lost income. And the median net worth in this country has declined on an inflation-adjusted basis, has declined by 38% in the last 10 years from what would have been $88,000 for a household median income to, on an inflation-adjusted basis, $54,000. And as you'll see in a moment, that's not enough money to realize the American dream. Families, according to a professor, a New York University professor who did one of these studies, he says that in his estimation, families have been using their savings to finance consumption, and they are in desperate straits. Some more factoids here. Nearly half of all college grads would not be able to cover. I mentioned the study about covering a $1,000 ER visit or $500 auto repair. Nearly half of college grads wouldn't be able to do that. And again, even in higher income demographics, those who make income in the range of $100,000 to $150,000, according to these studies, a quarter of folks who are in that income demographic would not be able to raise money quickly to meet a crisis. Credit card debt. You saw the story of the young lady who got caught with student loan debt and credit card debt. The average credit card balance is $5,700, but when you take out those balances that get paid off every month, just those keeping balances, the average credit card balance is $15,000. That's unbelievable. And what an opportunity, again, for credit unions to see how we can restructure loans, provide financial counseling, help members borrow smarter. From 1971 to 2015, you've seen this stat before, the savings rate has plummeted in America. From what used to be a 13% of disposable income back in the 70s to 5% or less. We need to be the ones who are not just lending, but finding ways to encourage saving and preparation for retirement, because that's the credit union way. 65% of consumers, I alluded to this earlier, are considered financially illiterate, according to studies that are done that define certain parameters that describe what it is to be financially literate. Now, according to USA Today, only 64% of consumers still believe in the American dream. That's pretty sad. I would guess that most of us in this room are pretty enthusiastic. We're living the American dream, and we're serving a lot of folks who are struggling to believe in that. So what is the American dream? I think it was the Commerce Department that came up with some parameters that suggested that the American dream is to own your home, to have all the adults in your household own a car, to have some medical insurance protection, and to have some retirement security, and to be able to take a vacation once a year. The things that we all aspire to, we just want to live a good life. And it's been estimated that it takes $130,000 annual household income to be able to enjoy the American dream. And yet, as I showed earlier, on an inflation-adjusted basis, the median household income is only $58,000. So 60% of the population have suffered an economic shock in the past 2 months, according to a 2015 study. According to the American Psychologists Association, money is the country's #1 stressor, not surprisingly. When you look at everything that creates stress in the lives of families, money's the #1. And 72% are stressed about money at least some of the time. So there's some pretty tough statistics there. And here's one that I want to start to segue to. Credit unions rank top in customer satisfaction. Consumers are twice as likely to refer a credit union to a family member or a friend. Consumers are twice as likely to say that credit unions look out for their financial well-being. So let's make a segue here. Credit unions can be, they must be the solution because people are hurting and these challenges are real. And I'm excited about the continued progress of the credit union industry in Michigan and nationally and the things that we're going to continue to do to be a part of the solution. So, can I go back one slide, please? According to the ACI index, the Consumer Satisfaction Index, if you can go back one slide for me, all these different industries are evaluated. Federal government, local government rank about 60%. Every industry, every type of business, we can leave it here for now. They're down in the 60, 70%. Credit unions are at 81%. There isn't any sector of the economy that ranks higher except televisions and video players. Has anybody bought a smart TV recently? They're phenomenal. I mean, what's not to love about a big smart TV that you can access YouTube and everything else right on that TV via your Wi-Fi? It's a great customer experience to buy a new TV. Credit unions are right there. Internet retail. Who's purchased something on Amazon.com recently? It's a pretty darn satisfying experience. Credit unions are right at the top. So that's something to be proud of. Our service levels have always been high. Consumers, they look to us to be the answer. Let me play a couple of clips to show what some Michigan credit unions are doing in their communities. These are a couple of short videos that were submitted as part of our Share the Love campaign. And the first one is Lake Michigan Credit Union. They're each about 2 minutes long.
We love our communities. Lake Michigan Credit Union is dedicated to making a positive impact in the communities of its members and its employees through donations, sponsorships, and volunteerism. Over 18,000 volunteer hours were donated by LMCU employees last year. LMCU also donated more than $200,000 to nonprofits with an additional $150,000 donated by our members and our employees through other campaigns. LMCU is proud to present the HUT Scholarship Program each year. Last year, we presented 10 $2,000 scholarships to seniors who competed in the HUT Scholarship Contest. That was our 25th anniversary of that contest.
Santa Squad. During the month of December, LMCU created meaningful ways to give back to the community. 18 days of giving, over 1,000 pounds of food, $10,000 of supplies donated. Band Together for Kids Healthcare. Every year, LMCU members and employees raise funds to benefit pediatric programs serving children in Michigan hospitals. Last year, over $18,500 was raised. One Pencil Project. A campaign that provides basic school supplies to teachers across Michigan for their needy students. After teachers submit an online request, bags are assembled and delivered in the fall.
So Lake Michigan Credit Union isn't just Michigan's largest credit union by assets and members, measured by being the largest money purchase mortgage lender in the state of Michigan, but they do some pretty darn impressive things in their communities. Let's give a big round of applause to Lake Michigan Credit Union. Now, heading up to Ann Arbor, I want to share a short clip from our friends at Cornerstone Financial Credit Union.
When life leaves you high and dry, I'll be at your door tonight if you need help, if you need help. I'll shut down the city lights. I'll cheat, I'll beg and bribe to make you well, to make you well.
Dedicated. Welcoming.
Working here has been very rewarding. Family.
Cornerstone participates in several community events, and it's really great because we are able to be out in the community and interact with our members who we see on business occasions. So when we see them in the community, they're with their friends, they're with their family, and it's a completely different side of our members that we get to know, which is really great.
I have seen that Cornerstone is very generous.
Dependable.
Cornerstone is very supportive.
Committed. The biggest difference between banks and credit unions are the services that are provided.
I've always known Cornerstone to be trustworthy.
I would have to say secure.
Loyalty. For as long as I've worked at the credit union, I have found them reliable.
I've worked in a lot of different departments here at the credit union. I started in the call center, headed up to the FSR department, and sat at the reception desk for many years. So I have to say I've made a lot of friendships with our members here at the credit union. We treat our members like family.
You're my backbone, you're my cornerstone, you're my crutch when my legs.
When we tell our members we are a credit union in your corner, it's more than just a tagline. Our actions are what give those words meaning. Through all of life's milestones, Cornerstone will always share the love.
I love the way Heidi put it there. It's more than just a tagline. Let's congratulate Cornerstone Community Financial Credit Union for their good works. The last example that I want to give, I think you're familiar with our Share the Love contest that we had this year for the first time, and I'm going to announce the second annual campaign later in my presentation here. But with all the 130 plus videos submitted by credit unions across the country, the grand prize winner was our United Bay Community Credit Union, and they had just a heartwarming story about 20 years of fundraising for the Ronald McDonald House in memory of a tragic accident that affected the family members of a lady who happened to be the CEO of the credit union at the time. So please watch this short video, and congrats go out to United Bay Community for this cause that they're a part of.
22 years ago, on December 30th, 1993, not only a family, but a community was struck by tragedy when, after an automobile accident, two young children, Megan and Melissa, lost their lives. Melissa's younger sister, Jessica, survived to spend months in the hospital. During this time, thanks to the Ronald McDonald House, her family was able to stay right by her side. It was a home away from home. In memory of Megan and Melissa, the community started the Memorial Golf Outing. Family and friends partnered together to raise money to donate back to their local Ronald McDonald House so that other families can benefit from the facility during their own difficult times. United Bay Community Credit Union has partnered with the M&M Memorial Golf Outing for the past 22 years to help raise money and give back. Staff, board members, and credit union members join in and help. Whether it be baking cookies, selling raffle tickets, grilling burgers, playing in the outing, or donating financially, we are all thankful for their contribution to make this event successful. The community is determined to turn this tragedy into a blessing for others.
So that feels a lot like a Because I Said I Would story, right? Let's give our congratulations and our thanks to United Bay community for that great program. So let's talk just a little bit about the industry now. So things are going well, but not all credit unions are benefiting, right? So some examples. We updated our State Credit Union Act. We've seen some good regulatory relief changes from the NCUA, thanks to the lobbying from the credit union industry led by CUNA and state leagues. When we look at the metrics, Record membership growth, 2.6% increase in membership growth. Almost half the population now here in Michigan. Our loan growth is as strong as it's been in over 20 years and stronger than the national average. Our earnings and our capital are strong. So lots of good things happening in our credit union industry. On the not so good side, 8% consolidation. We're losing 20 credit unions a year in Michigan. That's not all a bad thing. It's part of the consolidation that is happening in all industries driven by competition and technology. But we don't want any credit union to be unnecessarily left behind. So we need to have a support network to help credit unions of all sizes, especially small credit unions, be successful. And when we look at the metrics, about a third of our Michigan credit unions actually lost members last year on a net basis. 16% of our credit unions lost assets, and about 10% of our credit unions, 25, lost both members and assets, and that's probably happening year over year. This is a pretty good economy, right? And then finally, you know, if you sum up, if I were to ask you all privately what your perception is of depository institutions and credit unions more specifically, in terms of the level of innovation, are we known for our product development and our innovation? Certainly not like fintech companies, certainly not like other disruptive players. Are we challenging ourselves enough to be innovative? I know some of you are, because I hear great stories. I had a nice meeting with Dave Snodgrass last night talking about things that are happening at Lake Trust Credit Union. I see innovation in a number of credit unions, and it's happening, and it's exciting, but it's not happening on in a broad enough way to move our industry to where it needs to be. So I want to share a short video clip from Josh Linkner, who is a Detroiter. He founded Detroit Venture Partners. He's one of Dan Gilbert's partners. He's a best-selling author and speaker. We've had him on our stage before, and he, again, another plug for CUNA's ACUC in Seattle. Josh Linkner is going to be a keynote speaker there. But listen to this short little video clip. We taped it in our office in Livonia, asking Josh to comment on innovation in the credit union space.
Hi, my name is Josh Linkner. I'm the author of The Road to Reinvention, and also have had the privilege over the years to be an entrepreneur, a venture capital investor, and even a jazz musician. I'm so excited to talk to you today about the specific importance of reinventing our businesses, our careers, and our communities long before we need to do any type of turnaround effort. So many people believe that success is a permanent condition, like you've arrived and you're never going to have any problems after that. But really, success happens in the context of many external factors. And if anything, it's a temporary condition that lasts shorter than ever. We're in the midst in this world of massive change, and the speed is happening at a time like none other in history. So it's incumbent on us as leaders in our businesses and our communities to reinvent early and often, to embrace the spirit and the philosophy of creative disruption, making sure that we're the source of disruption rather than having it thrust upon us. So I'll be sharing a few brief ideas with you here today, and I hope that you enjoy it.
All right, so Josh Linkner inspires us to think about how we need to reinvent all facets of what we do. Now, some of the forces affecting credit unions, they're not easy things to deal with. They're somewhat daunting, especially for smaller credit unions. The cost of marketing and promoting your credit union to your communities to onboard new members, let alone to promote what you have to your existing members in a cost-effective way. Technology, especially mobile technology, that people expect and demand. The difficulty in attracting and retaining top talent is a huge challenge for credit unions right now. Credit unions becoming more effective in their strategic planning and positioning and their governance effectiveness with their volunteer boards of directors, and certainly managing the ever-growing burden of regulatory compliance. So I want to talk a little bit here in a bit. I'm going to be announcing 8 new solutions that, working with CUNA, in many cases, we're going to help credit unions address some of these challenges. But before I do, this concept of strength and unity, I want to talk about our 4 pillars a little bit and then go right into those announcements. Strength and unity, even in an era of dues choice, requires that we all not only participate and support the state and national associations with dues funding, but get engaged, get involved, participate in advocacy, support cooperative advertising, use the solutions, give us feedback, make it better. That's what it's going to take to be successful in each of these 4 areas. In the area of removing barriers, I mentioned the State Act update, but if you go back a dozen years to when we did it last time, we expanded we improved credit unions' ability, state chartered credit unions, to expand their fields of membership, to where today it's very easy, and many of our credit unions have it, the whole lower peninsula. In some cases, they have the lower and upper. And it's no longer a challenge at all for credit unions to expand their fields of membership to bring more credit union members in, if they so choose. We expanded the CUSO investment authority for state chartered credit unions, enhanced the board's ability to delegate certain powers and decisions to management. And our most recent act update was about DIFs, exam transparency, helping to clarify how examiners, where they should draw the line in terms of best practice recommendations, expanding fixed asset investment authority, authorizing loan promotion raffles and trust services through a CUSO, and many, many other things that are going to continue to help do what Pat McFarland referenced yesterday, make the state charter the charter of choice for Michigan credit unions. On the federal side, we're continuing to preserve the tax-exempt status. We're continuing to pressure Congress to get exemptions from the CFPB regulations and all regulations. We're working with NCUA to improve their field of membership and their business lending regulations. And we're continuing to work with NCUA to consider expanding their examination cycle and many, many other things. We've had some good victories. We have a lot of work to do in the next Congress. But with your help, we're making a difference in this area of removing barriers. Second is promoting the credit union difference. So with all these challenges that families are facing, if they don't know about, if the awareness levels are low on a macro basis and on an individual basis, obviously people are not going to be able to take advantage of what you offer. So we challenge ourselves in Michigan and we find ways to promote the credit union difference cooperatively and certainly individually. So I'm going to give you a quick snapshot view of our 2 TV ads. Now, we do this advertising digitally, billboard, radio, even on Pandora. But before I play these 2 short clips, I hope that you celebrate that we have the largest voluntary cooperative advertising campaign in the nation in the credit union space. 100% of our credit unions now support the campaign. A third of them are providing the full share contribution. That's up by about 20 credit unions this year, by the way. And it's making a difference. $2.5 million a year being spent, 2/3 of that being funded by MCUL and affiliates. We have the highest penetration of members to the population in the United States among the 10 most populous states at really close to 50%. It's higher than 45. And our consumer household deposit share is 20%, which is by far higher than any of the 10 most populous states. Now, that's not because of solely because of cooperative advertising. It's because of a lot of things, including your support for cooperative advertising. And as I mentioned before, consumers, when we survey them in Michigan, they're twice as likely to say they trust you. They're twice as likely to refer to a family member or friend. So here's one of our ads.
Life is a series of steps. Little ones, big ones, and really big ones. Along the way, there's a pretty big financial step you can take, away from your bank and into a Michigan credit union, where you'll get better rates on things like auto loans and credit cards, which can lead to a lot of important steps in life. Find out more at culinkmichigan.com.
Thank you for your support for the CU Link Michigan Cooperative Advertising Campaign. It is making a difference. I want to also highlight that the audiences for this campaign aren't just the public at large. It's your existing members and your potential members. It's lawmakers and community leaders. And as I said, 88 credit unions now are actually integrating the themes into their own individual credit union advertising. And we're making a difference at helping you build share of wallet. This isn't just about onboarding new members. Another example of one of the ads.
Every step we take, no matter how big or how small, takes us somewhere we want to go, somewhere we need to go. Last year in Michigan, over 500 people a day took an important step. They joined a credit union and enjoyed fewer fees and better loan rates, like auto loan rates that average 1% lower than banks and lower credit card rates. Little steps can make a big difference. Find out more at culinkmichigan.com.
So those are some pretty powerful messages when we try to connect the dots between how consumers and families are financially challenged versus how we're the solution. Lower credit card rates, lower auto loan rates. We're encouraging people to save and plan for retirement. We're providing financial education. We're making business loans. And so we need to continue to get that word out, but not just cooperatively, but also individually. I want to showcase a couple of short clips from our 2 credit unions who we're going to be honoring as outstanding credit unions tomorrow. I have a very short clip from a bigger presentation that will be given tomorrow. But I wanted to show these 2 clips because in both cases, with Peninsula Federal from the UP and ELGA in the Flint area, there's some really good stories being told here about how their members' needs are being met in very unique and profound ways. So the first one is ELGA.
This is the story of a young man with a dream, told through the backdrop of a used car lot, starring a credit union as the superhero. The year was 2006, and a then 22-year-old John Leonard wanted to start a used car sales business.
I did have a lot of people that doubted me. Business is not good, the economy's shot, you're young. Basically, you don't know what you're doing.
But Leonard did know what he was doing. He just needed a property to make it happen.
We knew that, he could do this. He had the drive, the motivation, and there was nothing standing in his way except for access to funds.
That access was granted with a piece of paper, which Leonard protects in a scrapbook, promising $128,000.
This was like the golden ticket. This is like that. Yeah.
Leonard grew his business to hundreds of cars and 16 employees. ELGA now provides the car loans to his customers. To let everyone know how he got his start, Leonard put up his version of a giant thank you card.
That resonates for years. People don't forget that kindness.
That kindness is the embodiment of ELGA's core mission, to build lifelong relationships. That happens in part through lending when others won't.
Plenty of stories about that, of helping a member and them coming back to us saying, if it wasn't for you at, helping me in my time of need and working with me like no other financial institution would, I don't know where I would be right now.
When you start helping people that no one else has helped, they love you and they tell others about you, and that's how we grew.
So make sure you come to the honors event tomorrow, where we'll have the water coolers back, and we'll have a lot of fun honoring not just the credit unions, but the individual recipients. But how about a hand for ELGA Credit Union? That's a pretty compelling story. And now, what credit unions do across Michigan certainly extends across the UP, where we have incredible, dedicated credit unions up in the UP who get it done individually and cooperatively like nowhere else in the country. So here's a short clip from the small credit union being honored as outstanding credit union, Peninsula Federal, up in the UP.
Still, word of mouth is PFCU's strongest form of advertising.
It always comes back to the member, and if we're looking out for their best interests, there's empowerment and there's good feelings about coming to work every day knowing that we're helping our neighbors and our members.
Some of that help includes striving to offer the latest products, such as e-signature technology, to allow members to sign remotely for a loan. And fees? Forget about it.
Our board hates fees. We will not charge our members to get their money out of an ATM machine. So we're very fee resistant.
But even more than PFCU's low fees, innovative products, and commercials featuring familiar faces, Jennifer Peach sums up why she and so many other members keep coming back.
You can get money almost anywhere. You can't get a feeling almost anywhere.
Congratulations, Peninsula Federal Credit Union, on being recognized tomorrow. So, connecting the dots again. People are hurting, they need us, and it's happening. Credit unions across Michigan and across the country are the difference. But we need to reinvent, we need to recommit. And I don't know what you think about why you come to a convention like this, but I think one of the big reasons is so that we can celebrate the good works of credit unions and recommit and re-engage to get the job done in an even better, more profound way. The third thing we do is provide solutions, and I'm going to announce 8 new solutions here shortly. But CU Solutions Group is a financial engine to help us reduce our dues at MCUL, to help us provide solutions that help credit unions be successful in these 6 categories. And I'm now going to announce 8 new solutions to wrap up my presentation. The first is Destination Compliance, a microsite to help credit unions have access to a breadth of regulatory compliance tools to help keep up with that daunting challenge. A second one is a documentary that we'll be announcing. You saw 4 clips. Those clips that you saw are the beginning stages of just getting by. We're going to launch this documentary, encourage credit unions across the country to tie into this documentary and to use those stories to promote the credit union difference. A third one is life steps. We know how important it is to help credit unions understand the needs of millennials and meet those financial services needs through more effective messaging. A fourth solution I'll introduce is a turnkey marketing pack. We think smaller credit unions especially will benefit from this, but there are a lot of small, mid-sized credit unions and even some larger ones who will find value in this turnkey marketing content. Number 5, small CU Assist. We understand the challenges of small credit unions, and CUSG is committing to provide a package of free and low-cost resources to help small credit unions, not just in Michigan, but across the country. Number 6, CU Trend Scan. This will be a supplement to the CUNA eScan. It'll be more than that. It'll be a quarterly compendium of insights and information to help credit union leaders understand what's happening in the marketplace. Number 7, we're going to launch a product called CU Planning Pro this year, which is a planning tool for strategic planning, and CU Board Navigator, which is a tool to help boards be more effective with their board governance. And finally, we're going to launch the second year of the Share the Love campaign under the brand Love My Credit Union Project. So let me give you a quick snapshot view of each of these. And as I do that, I want to reinforce that these are all about how MCUL and CUNA are positioning ourselves to help you be more effective at helping your members with those financial challenges that I referenced earlier. So the first one is destination compliance. We're launching this today, and by the way, for each of these, you can get information about this at our website, cusolutionsgroup.com/new. There will also be information in the exhibit hall, and we'll be sending information out after the convention. But quite simply, destination compliance is pulling together all the pieces that already exist, plus more that we'll be adding, that are already provided by CUNA, the Michigan Credit Union League, and a company called InfoSight that creates a lot of these. Let me play a short video to give you a glimpse of it. Welcome to Destination Compliance. The Michigan Credit Union League and affiliates, CUNA and League InfoSight have partnered to create a total compliance solution that brings together 3 important facets of helping credit unions reduce and comply with regulatory burden. The 3 facets include advocacy, information, and implementation solutions. Because we understand how valuable your time is, this website is designed to provide you with access to all the tools and resources that are available to you through our collaboration in a one-stop shop.
With the regulatory environment constantly changing, it's important that your credit union knows where to access the vast amounts of compliance tools and resources available through CUNA, League InfoSight, and your league. The Destination Compliance website was created for that purpose. The advocacy area of Destination Compliance provides you with quick access to links and resources to make it easy for your credit union to get involved in advocacy efforts with CUNA and your league both locally and in Washington, D.C. Help impact change and reduce regulatory burden before regulations and laws become final. Also in this section, find out what's being done by CUNA and your league to improve the examination process for your credit union. Once the laws and regulations are finalized, your credit union will likely need compliance training and resources like CUNA's eGuide and League InfoSight to stay on top of the changes. This section of Destination Compliance aggregates all of the resources and publications for your credit union's easy access. You've learned about the regulatory changes. Now how will your credit union implement them? Your league and CUNA are committed to providing credit unions with effective, best-in-class solutions and tools to provide the compliance support needed to be compliant in a constantly evolving regulatory environment.
Destination compliance will always be a continuous work in progress because the regulatory environment is changing so rapidly. But the Michigan Credit Union League, CUNA, and League InfoSight are committed to helping your credit union find cost-effective ways to be compliant so that you can focus more time on member service and less on compliance challenges. Thank you for your support of the Michigan Credit Union League and affiliates and CUNA as we work to provide this total compliance solution, Destination Compliance. So destination compliance, that's announcement number one. We understand, CUNA and MCUL, we understand that unless we're helping you manage this compliance burden, you're going to have a heck of a time freeing up resources, especially as a smaller credit union, to do what you really want and need to do, which is serve your members and communities. All right, the second announcement is this documentary. You've seen pieces of it. We're excited about this. This won't be available till next year. We have some work to do, but we want you to stay tuned and have an interest in this. And when it launches, we hope you'll take advantage of it by linking to your marketing materials, making a part of your messaging to your members to share just how credit unions are part of the solution. So there's a short trailer that I'm going to play that has some pieces from those videos that I played earlier.
I walked in and there sat 2 police officers, and I thought then that I was going to jail. I really did.
It feels like I'm just constantly drowning and I will never catch up.
Our pediatrician actually looked at us and said, "I don't know what else to do for you." I was scared. I was scared that this was gonna be the end of everything.
It's definitely a difficult period for us as Americans. We've got lack of employment, we've got underemployment, we've got exploding debt, we've got exploding expenses. Being able to generate wealth for retirement, to save money to send your own children to college, to hopefully have a carefree future. It's becoming more and more difficult.
I work for Youth Outreach Services, 95 hours a week, but when I graduated in 2001, I made more at Toys R Us than I'm making at my full-time job now.
I've been cashing my check at party stores going on 5 years.
I work sometimes 75 hours a week. I normally budget to $40 until my next paycheck.
The interest on that loan was 37%. The insurance and the car payment is more than half of what I get.
So how can you be able to afford saving for tomorrow when you can barely even afford to live for today?
The doctor, not knowing our background, said to me, "You're going to have to mortgage your house to pay for this."
They said I'd won $6 million in a brand new Mercedes-Benz. I began to wonder what kind of scam I was into.
We can really look at this as an opportunity to get back on a better path. And it doesn't have to be a big leap.
We just, we do the best that we can.
I skate by just barely every month.
But I don't care what I have to do, like, I will do it.
We're calling this Just Getting By, and if any of you saw the Spent movie documentary that was developed by American Express, when that launched, I think we had a lot of credit union people say, "Why didn't we do that? Why shouldn't we be telling that story?" We intend to help with this, not just in Michigan, but nationally, in cooperation with CUNA and our other partners. So that's Just Getting By. My announcement number 3 is called Life Steps, and we understand we've been urged by you to come up with marketing materials and resources to help you with your messaging regarding your products and services for millennials. So this is going to be available at no cost to Michigan credit unions, and there will be a charge for credit unions outside Michigan. We're targeting the fall of this year.
Credit union to me is more of the older generation, more upscale.
When I think of a credit union, I think of the older generation with much.
I feel like it's for older people over 6 figures.
A bank would be like buying a car from a dealership versus a used car dealer would be the credit union.
If the bank falls, you can get reinsured all your money back, but I don't know how a credit union would work like that.
Being a credit union member means you have limited access to ATMs. That one too.
I think we bank just because the accessibility. I mean, I feel like credit unions, there's not as many. We think big bank, right? Small credit union.
I seen the face, I seen the person interacting.
Yeah, like going in and seeing, the same guy, you get to know each other and start to feel comfortable,
I just use the app. I don't necessarily log in online. It's just easier for me on my phone.
What do you think? Do you always feel like it's a secret society because you have to be part of the clique to be a member of a credit union? So it's like, you know, does anyone can't join?
So remember that stat from earlier. Half of all college grads can't come up with some cash to meet a financial challenge. There's a lot of financial education that's needed, but there's also messaging that we need to help young people understand, young adults understand, that credit unions have the mobility and the convenience and the customer service that they're looking for. Number 4, turnkey marketing campaigns for credit unions. Again, we hope to make these available at no charge to our full share credit unions in Michigan, and there will be a small charge to use this content and to customize it.
Are you looking for the key to a successful and effective marketing campaign? Unlock it with turnkey marketing campaigns from CU Solutions Group. From fully customizable turnkey videos for your credit union's website, branch lobby, or even broadcast, to templated digital assets designed with email and millennial-focused social media distribution in mind, to a multitude of tailored print options for posters, inserts, and mailers that work to enhance your credit union's messaging through every delivery channel. Turnkey marketing campaigns. Fast, affordable, and available now.
We soft launched this, and we've already had 50 credit unions from across the country buying content. As we continue to work on this and build it out, we think it's going to really serve an important need, especially for small, mid-sized credit unions. Number 5, we believe in the necessity of helping small credit unions, not just in Michigan, but nationally, with certain no-cost or low-cost services. And so we're launching this today. It'll be a work in progress, but we already have a package put together, 1 year free on Performance Pro, a free website, a bunch of other content that help credit unions, smaller credit unions in particular, have access to things like the launch of our new Planning Pro product, 1 year free, and other such services. Number 6, CU Trend Scan. Again, launching this fall, we hope to commit to provide content that help credit union leaders understand all the different forces in all the different areas, such as marketing and technology and human resource management, the economy, legislative and regulatory. We want to partner with CUNA to do this and to borrow from a number of sources to be able to provide this kind of content to help you with your planning at the credit union operational level.
The ever-evolving landscape of financial services requires us to constantly rethink, reimagine, and reinvent our business models. Credit union leaders rely on a number of sources to keep updated on all the latest changes. But the information they receive is often incoherent and overwhelming. CU TrendScan is the unifying source for new ideas and information. Presented in a compelling, unbiased approach, CU TrendScan is a forward-thinking publication that will be delivered in both a quarterly report and online through a regularly updated website. Discover solutions instead of tangling with messy data or repetitive information. Uncomplicate your world with CU TrendScan.
This will be available to Michigan credit unions at no charge, and again, we'll charge a fairly modest fee to credit unions outside Michigan. Number 7, I have 2 more. CU Board Navigator won't launch till next year. This is a model, kind of a library of board governance policies and the consulting to go with it. But CU Planning Pro is the product that we hope to launch more quickly. We're going to beta test it this year in the fall and winter, and then make it available nationally next year. It'll be as low as $1,500 a year. We think there's a need for a technology tool and related content to help with strategic and operational planning.
Is strategic planning keeping you up at night? We have the solution. Introducing CU Planning Pro. This intuitive and powerful program allows you to develop a clear plan, improve collaboration by utilizing surveys, assigning key priorities, developing goals, tracking progress, and creating progress reports. Compare against peers, evaluate trends, and achieve your goals. CU Planning Pro. Imagine, plan, execute.
And the last announcement is one that is really a heartwarming one for me and for us, for my team. We launched the Share the Love campaign. It's going to be relaunched effective today nationally. We're going to challenge credit unions to come up with even more video submissions, more credit unions participating. We're going to expand the contributions that are going to be made at the state level in conjunction with state leagues. We're partnered with CUNA on this. And I tell you, if you didn't participate or if you didn't take a chance to watch some of the videos that were submitted, please do so this year because they're heartwarming and they're the best evidence that I think we can come up with of how credit unions are the solution to helping to meet some of these challenges that I talked about.
When we heard about it, we thought, this is different. This is kind of crazy, but this is cool. And we want to see what happens.
What started as a small idea grew into a massive campaign.
And you really felt the love of our entire charity, and it was really magical.
You can feel it in your chest, and it's just something that you want to be a part of.
It really helped share the true passion that our credit union has for helping the community.
132 credit unions across 35 states. Over 426,000 votes cast. And $105,000 donated to charities. $10,000? On behalf of everyday heroes like you. In 3 months, you shared more love and helped more people than we could have imagined. All while spreading the credit union philosophy of people helping people. Your good works helped communities, changed lives, and inspired us all. This year, we're making it even bigger. More money to charities, more ways to win, more opportunities to share the love. Get ready. The Love My Credit Union campaign is here.
So obviously, this is not just about winning a cash prize for your charity of choice. This is about celebrating the credit union difference. I'd like to see 500 credit unions participate and have votes into the millions. I'd like to see viral marketing through social media expand the message and let people know all that credit unions have to offer. I'll wrap up with a quote by Dan Gilbert, who is the chairman and CEO of Quicken Loans and is doing so much to improve the quality of life in Detroit. And he has a little catchphrase that he says, "You're already there, so you might as well be great." And I think that applies to credit unions. Let's keep pushing hard to be the solution. MCUL, working with CUNA, we're part of the solution. We appreciate so much the opportunity and the privilege to be part of this great credit union movement. We're going to help remove barriers, help you promote yourselves, help provide solutions. We're going to provide support for compliance, but it's all about connecting the dots so that we're helping to enrich the lives of our members and our communities. Thank you very much for your attention this morning.